what I may have said was not on record. He's now informing Kenyans what I might have said off record, Honorable Speaker. And all I said is that Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka had not read the finance bill when he alleged that we are converting freehold land into leasehold land. Just like Robert Mbui had not read this finance bill. Just like the other man from Wamonyoro has told them to come and make noise in the house instead of contributing ideas on how we can raise taxes.
Order, Majority Leader, order.
You know, Honorable Speaker, these people have been mobbing.
Order. Order. Honorable Kaluma. Honorable Kaluma, proceed.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
What is your point of order, Honorable Mbui? What's your point of order? What's the point of order? Mbui, order. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honorable Kalasinga, order. Order. Oh. Order.
Thank you.
Proceed. What's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I have given the floor to Honorable Mbui.
Thank you,
rest
Mr.
of you be
Speaker.
quiet.
Mr. Speaker,
Silence.
with all due respect to the majority leader,
yes,
who, tells us that he understands the standing orders.
Yeah.
Is he in order
Yes.
to discuss a member who was a former vice president, most likely the next president, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, without a substantive motion? Is he in order?
Yes, what's your point of order? Order. Gracious lady, Wamuchomba is on a point of order. What's your point of order? Wamuchomba to be heard in silence. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, when you are seated there, Mr. Speaker, you have now eyes, no ears until we inform you. Is it in order for honorable members, elected by millions of people, to shout like a marketplace instead of asking, is it in order, Mr. Speaker?
Is it in order?
Order.
No,
Order. I'll give you. Order. Honorable Kaluma has the floor.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Finance Committee, and Honorable Speaker, this has been the most difficult finance bill to process because, Honorable Speaker, it is being done in a very constrained economic environment. We were looking at how to ensure that tax administration is efficient without, of course, increasing taxes, Honorable Speaker, because as people have been saying, the tax burden on the individual is very big. We were looking at how to broaden the tax base and to get everybody to pay their due taxes there, for Honorable Speaker, without having any tax increments. And I wanted to confirm, Honorable Speaker, that as a committee, we did not just go throughout the country, but we sat for very long hours. So much so, Honorable Speaker, that by yesterday, when we were still sitting to process the report, I remember the chair called to be asking, what are you still sitting over because of exhaustion? Of course, I want to be grateful to the Kenyans who gave their views on these taxation measures, and they have been integrated. By yesterday, the report of the committee was over 350 pages. I believe there could be changes upon increases or decreases, but it confirms the level of public participation engaged in this matter. And I want to thank Kenyans, Honorable Speaker, that unlike in 2024, Kenyans are now coming forward with views to enrich the finance bill, especially the young people. Honorable Speaker, the bill as drawn has really helped to secure that we raise enough money to sustain the budget, which we are, was highlighted here and we continue to process. And Honorable Speaker, we are acutely aware that it is the desire of Kenya that for the individual, at least we reduce, taxes, more so for the vulnerable. And so I'm in support of this bill, Honorable Speaker. We went through them clause by clause.
Those provisions which require a bit of cleanup, Honorable Speaker, the committee has made, proposals. Honorable Speaker, because of time and using my expertise in law, allow me only to highlight some issues over which I disagree with the committee in terms of the amendments being proposed on the report. And on this I'm doing, Honorable Speaker, because during the deliberations before adoption, I did indicate to the committee that I was to a contrary view on some of them. Honorable Speaker, let me start by attending to issue number 1, which is the issue of agency notices which the majority leader ended up with.
The current Tax Procedures Act says that when you dispute taxes, there is some alternative dispute resolution between you and Kenya Revenue Authority. And if that fails, Honorable Speaker, you then go to the Tax Appeals Tribunal as the court, or let me say judicial level of the first instance. What it says after that is that you have the right to appeal. And these appeals, based on the strictures of the Constitution, as a lawyer you know, can go then to the Court of Appeal. The point in the Act now, before this bill, Honorable Speaker, is that so long as you appeal the decision of the Tax Tribunal to the High Court, you can also appeal from the High Court to the Court of Appeal. You can appeal from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. All that time, no agency notice will issue. And in the bill, Honorable Speaker, the chair under whose name the bill is brought, the bill has drafted proposes, Honorable Speaker, that while agency notices will not issue when you are moving up to the Tax Appeals Tribunal, when you are now moving from the Tax Appeal Tribunal, the Tax Appeals Tribunal, having listened to the parties and resolved that you owe the government money in terms of taxes, the bill is proposing that if you need any further stays, you now go to the High Court on appeal and you apply for stay in the High Court. Or if you move from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, you apply for stay there. But the fact that you are appealing does not automatically operate to stop you from discharging your obligation to pay the due taxes, because it is already determined by the tribunal after the attempts at alternative dispute tribunal. And Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say that you are a lawyer like me and a very senior one. Even for purposes of civil litigation, once you have an injunction, you go to the court of first instance. When you go to the Court of Appeal, there are applications we usually make under 52B for stay, if you want them. And then the court will consider whether you are appealing, Honorable Speaker, on good grounds, or you just have a frivolous appeal so that you continue enjoy stay to give it to you. So I wanted to disagree with the committee, because the committee is seeking to reverse us to the previous situation, where so long as you have appeals pending, for howsoever they are hard, because we have not limited them in terms of time, and like elections, disputes, there will be automatic stay. What it does, Honorable Speaker, is that this money is with the person indefinitely as long as he's pursuing appeal, even if that appeal is frivolous. So I agree with the bill and disagree with the committee that indeed, up to the level of the
Tax Appeals Tribunal, let agency notices be frozen. But after that, Honorable Speaker, go to the court and confirm to court that our having been heard before the Tax Appeals Tribunal, let us now persuade you that we have good grounds of appeal with a memorandum attached, so that a person does not delay.
I accept information, Honorable Speaker.
You wish to be informed?
Honorable Speaker, quickly, I just want to inform Honorable Kaluma, because he's a seasoned lawyer,
yes,
and has been in the court corridors for some time. In actual fact, what taxpayers have been doing is going to court and you freeze the process, and therefore KRA never collects their taxes. And that's the point I was making when I was finishing, that whereas me and you and all other hardworking Kenyans are paying their taxes, very big business people who are able to go manipulate the court process are not paying their taxes. And that is how this finance bill is raising taxes, by ensuring that there is fairness and certainty as to who and who will pay taxes.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and it is about equity, as the majority leader rightly says. Because if we allow a situation where as long as you appeal, Honorable Speaker, you are not paying the government, then it takes too long. We have not limited the time. The guy, without even confirming he has a good appeal, so long as you appeal, will enjoy stay. We are leaving the room that if you need a stay, go to the Court of Appeal like we do under 52B and persuade the court that you are not appealing on frivolous grounds, and then you can be given a stay, and the court can then expedite the hearing. So on that account, I disagree with the committee. Honorable Speaker.
Point of information?
No, I don't want information.
What is your point?
No, I don't want information.
He doesn't want to be informed.
I don't want to be informed, so that I save on time, Honorable Speaker, and so that as many of us as possible speak. Honorable Speaker, there is also a taxation being proposed to be removed by the bill, and I support the bill to that extent. They are saying, Honorable Speaker, that if you purchase goods or import goods, purchase locally or import goods, the current law says, Honorable Speaker, for direct and exclusive use in affordable housing projects, then you have some tax relief there. You have a big exemption, you have a big relief. I think they could be even zero rated. Honorable Speaker, the question is, how do you prove that goods a contractor is buying for construction are for direct and exclusive use in affordable housing? And KRA came before us and they said, it is difficult to prove. To the contrary, what has been happening is that once you get an affordable housing contract for a single apartment somewhere, Honorable Speaker, you are doing your private property elsewhere, and you are getting that relief, you are distorting the market for the other people. The committee has proposed in the report, Honorable Speaker, to also delete that provision, and on that I disagree with the committee, so that the bill remains as is. Honorable Speaker, there is this issue of funds which has been debated for very long. And honorable members, let me tell you, we met the PS for Treasury last Friday. When the PS came, they said there is a reason as to why they were making those proposals. By the time they were leaving, we still didn't agree on the idea that taxes become due on activation. And they confirmed to us that even on their part, they still need to clarify that area. And so we agreed as a committee with the Treasury that maybe the issue of activation be removed. But there was a fundamental point made, honorable members. And the point, honorable members, was that currently the dealers in the telephony industry prefer to import phones through Tanzania and through Uganda. Why, Honorable Speaker? Because the import-related taxes we levy and the levies we put, including railways levy, on importation of phones are too high. So they would rather import through Uganda or Tanzania than they get rerouted. And so there was a proposal, if we leave aside activation, that we bring our level to the level of the East African community so that we don't become a secondary market, but we can also allow importation of funds directly and we continue to benefit as others. And so, Honorable Speaker, on that account also, while at least I agree with the committee on removing the provision that you will deal with those issues at the point of activation, which, Honorable Speaker, are impracticable even to implement, and we wait for the Treasury to cleanse them up.
Do you wish to be informed by Muchomba?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, I'm worried about time.
You have 1 more minute, so Muchomba, do you wish to be informed?
Honorable Speaker, I think the time that there was good debate, and this is a very critical thing.
You have 2 minutes. Do you wish to be informed or not? Say yes or no.
Honorable Speaker, I thought I had 4 minutes.
Okay. No.
Because, Honorable Speaker, you know, Parliament was established because there can be no taxation without representation. And I want to thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing this engagement. But when we were engaging, my time was running, Honorable Speaker. Could I have my 4 minutes? Because I don't think they have been taken into account.
You have 2 minutes. Proceed.
Yes. Yeah, so, Honorable Speaker, the thing is that if we collapse the entire provision, then we are going to a situation where Kenya economically is at a competitive disadvantage against the East African community countries, and people and dealers will still import through them and return here for sale secondarily. And so as we allow them to deal with the issue of activation to avoid funds coming from all over without taxes being paid on them, which is the situation in Kenya, and they said they would be refining it, we bring it later on, the taxes which were proposed for removal, Honorable Speaker, we agree they be removed so that the funds are cheap, and Honorable Speaker, so that we are also an attractive import destination for funds, and we can get those taxes related to imports. Honorable Speaker, my major issue has been this thing called zero rating. Honorable Speaker, the Treasury came before us, and if you look at the bill, there are so many goods which are being proposed to be removed from the zero rated category to go to exempt. And there is a reason for it. The Treasury and KRA told us that maybe the goods with zero rate should be goods which are being used in export, or those processed in EPZs, for good reasons that we want to be competitive in terms of, getting foreign exchange. But, Honorable Speaker, we were told that while least with zero rate goods, there is no commensurate benefit to the people down there. You will zero rate, let me say bread and others, they still remain zero rated. I'm just using as an example. But what happens, Honorable Speaker, is that the bakers, instead of employing more bakers, are employing accountants to seek tax. And it was confirmed before us that tax expenditures on refunds alone, like last year, it was being estimated at around 510 billion. So we are collecting money from poor people. We are giving them to a few people who are not passing benefit to the consumers. And Ansar was saying that unless there is good explanation and philosophy, we should not have that category where goods are just being thrown without proper logics. Because there was a clarification that it should be for export, every other thing be removed. And I would be requesting that when the committee will be moving that amendment, Honorable Speaker, I will put my dissent and they can be addressed. Because of time, I would have addressed the issue of amnesty, which is about the duty of people to pay taxes when due. I'm against such provisions, and I will be proposing that addition.
Honorable Mazamzam Chimba.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi nainuka kuunga mkono mswada huu Mheshimiwa Spika. Mswada wa fedha katika taifa lolote Mheshimiwa Spika ni mswada ambao unazingatia matumizi katika nyanja tofauti ya taifa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kuna masala ya elimu, kuboresha elimu Mheshimiwa Spika, inahitaji iwe na mgao wake Mheshimiwa Spika. Kuna masala ya afya, kuna masala ya security, kuna masala mengi sana ya agriculture na mambo mengi Mheshimiwa Spika ambayo yanahitaji mkono wa Mkenya kuwekeza ili kupata huduma bora Mheshimiwa Spika. Jambo ambalo nataka kusema Mheshimiwa Spika ni kuwa wajua mchawi ama mwanga si lazima aruke na uteu Mheshimiwa Spika. Kuna wanga wengine ambao ni wanga tu hata kwa roho mbaya na fitna na mambo ya kupotesha wananchi Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nataka niseme hivi. Juzi na jana tumeweza kuzungumzia bajeti ya taifa katika bunge hili. Na wengi ambao ni wenzangu katika bunge hili Mheshimiwa Spika waliweza kuunga mkono, wengine wakawa wanasema hapo iongezeke, hapa iongezeke, pale paongezeke Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini mimi nilikuwa na ngoja siku ya leo niweze kuuliza hii ambao tulikuwa tunasema iongezewe ilikuwa itatoka wapi? Ilikuwa tutakusanya mawe tuongezee kwenye bajeti ama ilikuwa tutatoa ushuru ili uweze kuendelesha hili taifa Mheshimiwa Spika? Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi naangalia barabara zetu za Kenya Mheshimiwa Spika. Pengine jambo la msingi ambalo wenzetu wangeweza kutuambia, kujenga barabara si makosa, lakini ile barabara unaijenga katika hali gani? Je, inawekwa tu ni blanketi si ambayo imekaa vizuri? Hiyo ndo tutasema hiyo ni corruption Mheshimiwa Spika. Tuangalie hospitali, huduma ya hospitali, madawa yapatikane kwa wagonjwa kwa sababu wametoa ushuru kuweza kulipia yale madawa. Lakini ikiwa kule counties tunapata kuwa wagonjwa wanakosa madawa, hilo ndo swali ambalo upinzani wanafaa kuuliza, wala si kupinga mswada Mheshimiwa Spika. Huduma bora ndio kitu ambacho cha kusisitiza, lakini kulipa ushuru ni haki ya Mkenya yoyote yule kulipa ushuru ili aweze kupata huduma bora Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, juzi na jana mimi nimetoka Singapore, nikaangalia Singapore affordable housing wanavyoendeleza Mheshimiwa Spika. Mimi nimefurahi na nikasema ikiwa ule mfumo tungeweza kuuchukua katika taifa hili Mheshimiwa Spika, ingekuwa kila Mkenya leo ana nyumba yake, anamiliki nyumba yake, anatoka katika nyumba yake. Lakini kwa masikitiko Mheshimiwa Spika, katika taifa letu la Kenya tumeweka siasa mbele, mambo ya kimsingi pia mambo mazuri watu tunayapinga Mheshimiwa Spika. Nimetoka kule nimeangalia wana mfumo mzuri Mheshimiwa Spika. Kila kijana ambaye ametimia miaka 18 na ameanza kazi Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kanuni za kule ambao tulipata uhuru pamoja na wao Mheshimiwa Spika, wamewekeza kuwa 20% inaenda katika mfumo wa pension, mfumo wa affordable housing na mfumo wa afya. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, hawa wakikatwa inakuwa ni kama wamepata mahala pa kukaa na wananchi wote wanakaa bila kupata matatizo ya kuweza kulipa rent Mheshimiwa Spika. Katika Singapore wale ambao wanalipa rent Mheshimiwa Spika ni wananchi ambao wametoka nje kuja kufanya kazi. Na ni jambo ambalo mimi naona Mheshimiwa Rais alikuwa anatamani liweze kutendeka katika taifa hili Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini siasa zetu mimi ningeomba kwa yale mambo ambayo ni ya msingi, mambo ambayo ni ya kusaidia mwananchi, tuweke siasa zetu kando, tuangalie mambo ambayo tunaweza kujenga nayo taifa Mheshimiwa Spika. Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikuwa naangalia barabara zao, hata waweza tandika ukalala Mheshimiwa Spika. Jambo la Mkenya ambalo anasikitika ni kuwa ushuru wanatoa na ni haki yake kutoa ushuru, lakini ile service ndio ambayo mwananchi wa Kenya anataka apate huduma bora Mheshimiwa Spika, ikiwa ni barabara. Na wengine wetu hapo umesimamia mabarabara Mheshimiwa Spika. Unapata barabara imewekwa vipande, lakini pesa ambayo imetumika pale ni chungu nzima Mheshimiwa Spika. Kila mwaka barabara inawekwa vitambara vya kuweza kutengezwa kila mwaka. Lakini ikiwa tunaweza kutumia haya mapeni yetu vizuri, madhubuti Mheshimiwa Spika, barabara zetu zikanyoka kama mataifa mengine, basi Kenya itakuwa mfano wa kuigwa na mataifa mengine Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo lingine nimetaka kuzungumza katika wawekezaji. Na nimeona kule tulikuwa tunaelezewa, wanasema wale investors wameweza kupunguziwa ushuru ili waje kwa wingi, waweze kutoa nafasi za ajira kwa wananchi wao, waweze kuendeleza ule uchumi wa ile taifa Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini sisi tumekuwa watu wa kupinga usiku na mchana, hata tukipewa mwelekeo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunakuwa ni watu wa kupinga kila siku Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, naangalia hii finance bill imekaa vizuri kabisa. Na hata jambo ambalo wamekuwa wakizungumza la mtumba, na mimi nataka niambie mama mtumba kule sokoni Kongowea, hakuna ushuru ambao umewekwa kwa mitumba Mheshimiwa Spika. Ile mtumba haina ushuru wowote, wao wanunua mitumba yao waendelee kuuza, wale wasifuate fitina Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika ushuru ambao umewekewa katika nyumba ni kwa mfano wale watu ambao wanakaa mataifa ya nje muda mrefu hawako ndani ya taifa la Kenya na wamekwepa muda mrefu kulipa ushuru. Hii ni ushuru ambayo inakusanyika, akija analipa kwa wakati mmoja Mheshimiwa Spika. Si hawa ambao wamekaa hapa mwaka mzima, wamekaa hapa Kenya wanafanya mambo yao hapa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi nataka niweke wazi, hii finance bill ya mara hii Mheshimiwa Spika, isiweze kuleta fitna ya kuweza kuchoma taifa. Kina mama na watoto ndio waliopoteza maisha yao Mheshimiwa Spika, na wazee tukiona. Na kupalilia moto katika taifa sio kujenga taifa. Hata mimi leo ningekuwa kwenye upinzani, ningekuwa nanyoosha pale mahali natakikana Mheshimiwa, bila kuweza kuchoma taifa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi nasema hii finance bill nimeiangalia vizuri, huduma bora hospitali, elimu yetu kwa msingi na mashule yetu kuweza kupata mgao wao Mheshimiwa Spika, imeweza kuzingatiwa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kisha nimeona wananchi wa Kenya wamepewa motisha. Wale ambao walikuwa wamelimbikiziwa mafaini ya kulipa kwa sababu walikwepa ushuru Mheshimiwa Spika, wameweza kupewa motisha ya kutolewa ile ushuru ya juu ili waweze kuingia kwenye line ya kulipa ushuru. Manake Mheshimiwa Spika, watu wengi wa Kenya hawalipi ushuru. Wanaolipa ushuru ni wachache, na ndio maana unaona ule mzigo wanaona kama unawafinya. Lakini wale ambao wanakwepa kulipa ushuru Mheshimiwa Spika ni wengi, na mimi nikiangalia hapa sijaona ushuru ulioongezwa. Ni mapanuzi ya kukusanya ushuru kwa wale ambao hawalipi ushuru, ndio kitu ambacho kimewekwa kwenye finance bill Mheshimiwa Spika, na imezingatiwa vizuri. Na tusiweke fitna, tuweze kufocus ndugu zangu. Hii Kenya ni yetu sisi sote. Leo tukaichoma kwa sababu ya mambo ya siasa. Juzi tulikaa vibaya Mheshimiwa Spika, nakumbuka nilichomoka hapa mbio, mguu ni bebe, mguu wenyewe wa umma, siwezi kukimbia kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo yalikuwa yametokea fitna Mheshimiwa Spika. Mimi nina imani hawa ndugu zangu wana mawazo mazuri ya taifa, lakini waangalie msururu na njia kuweza kupeleka ile message kule nje Mheshimiwa Spika. Finance bill iko sawa na mimi naweza kuisupport. Juzi na jana hapa Mheshimiwa Spika tuliweza kumfukuza Adani. Nimetoka katika zile airport za kimataifa, hasa Singapore ambao tulipata nao uhuru Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukikaa pale unaona imeng'aa, imekaa vizuri Mheshimiwa Spika. Sisi tuliweza kumpoteza yule jamaa. Leo Mwamerika amemtolea mashtaka, anasema alikuwa hana makosa, alindipukiziwa makosa ambayo alikuwa hanayo. Na sisi kama Wakenya tumepoteza. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu ya fitna. Kwa hiyo mimi nasema hii finance bill Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi nashukuru kwa vile unavyoni protect Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu